Hey guys, Underground Geek here. And you know how in horror movies they have that scene where the girl or guy hears something, a noise in another room, or hears a noise in a dark part of the room, and you know what they're about to do. You know they shouldn't do it. You know they're about to come over there and go in that room. You know they shouldn't. It's bad. They're gonna die. They don't need to do it. Don't do it. And then they do it anyway and they die. Yeah, that's what happened when I read Spider-Gwen number 23 just now. I saw the cover, it's a whole stupid rock and roll cover like America did in her current comic. Who come up with this? Who thought this was a good idea? This is not comic books. You have turned Marvel Comics into indie comics now. You have created these heroes that don't mean anything to the story, and you just do whatever you want with them, pretty much. I mean, Gwenpool's the same way, but at least Gwenpool is drawn good. The art in this comic is atrocious. I'm going to use big words now because, all right, so the cover of the comic is just silly. It's got Spider-Gwen on there jumping through the air while the other crew is playing guitar. And what's so funny is somebody pointed out how muscular Spider-Gwen is flying through the air, how you can see all the muscles in her back. That's just weird. Somebody needs to learn how to draw a female because that looks like a trans. It has a girl butt and a guy's back. Anyway, which I'm surprised they drew a butt on her. You know what I mean? But anyway, so they get you caught up on the story, almost like a page in a comic, but they don't really catch you up because none of the panels make sense from one panel to the other. On the I guess I call it the cast page where they tell you who all worked on the comic. So let's find out who these atrocious artists are. Hannah Blumenreich and Jordan Gibson and Robbie Rodriguez. First of all, if you had to have three artists on this comic, you need to be fired. Whoever hired three artists for this comic needs to be fired. This comic looks like it was drawn with one of those drawing apps on somebody's tablet. It starts out okay, and then it dips down so bad by the end of the comic that you wonder if you're reading an indie comic. Like, that comic that stupid Mags Visaggio come out with, how the art looked in that? That's the way this looks. I mean, it's just sad. But anyway, so they start out on a game show that means nothing. It goes nowhere. They have the Bandits versus the Amazing Eight, even though there's only four of them. And they're dressed up like cosplay Spider-Man. And they're on what was that? What's that? Family Feud, but it's called Family Foes. Oh, you're so clever. And Steve Harvey looks like a gay Mr. T with his pink mustache and his pink faux hawk. But anyway, so they ask him a question, and it turns out that one of the watchers is actually watching this show on TV and not doing his duty. And it's kind of funny because the other watchers show up and they start scolding him. And they said, you're not watching Universe 65, which I think our universe that we watch is Universe 66. I'm not sure. It may be 65. I can't remember. But he says, you're supposed to be watching 65, but he said, it's so dark now. It's dark. It used to be fun, but lately it's so angsty, clenched fists and gritted teeth. And another Wolverine? Really? I mean, if that's not a poke at X-23, nothing is. But anyway, so he goes back to what he's doing, and he starts watching these three women, which is kind of creepy, as they're going on their life. And it's Mary Jane looking like an angsty teenager with two other people. They're very poorly drawn. They still get the expressions well out of their faces, but it's just the drawing is just awful. This is not a Marvel comic. And anyway, they think they're funny. They pull off a couple of jokes here and there, and they're not funny. Anyway, let me just go ahead and say they forgot something in this comic. What did they forget? Let me think about it. They forgot Spider-Gwen in this comic. She's not in this single issue of this comic. What's the name of this comic? Is this comic called The Three Friends Talking About Spider-Gwen the Entire Time? No, it's called Spider-Gwen. Get it right. But anyway, So it's basically just them walking around talking about Spider-Gwen and how she got her powers and everything. And then Mary Jane sees her ex, and she talks to him for a minute. They get into an argument and leave. And then later on, she meets back up, or she finds him again somehow at a party or something. He's bothering the nerd of the group. And what ends up having to happen? They have to end up beating up the mean old dude. They have to beat up one of the guys at the party because he's a white cis male, and hey, we're gonna teach him a lesson. So Mary Jane beats him up. Everybody's all, yeah, it's awesome. So then they go play later on in their band called the Mary Janes. Oh my God, really? Anyway, so they're playing. I'm only able to think that this is probably not good music that's playing. You know, you can't really hear it in a comic, but I can imagine it's terrible. But anyway, so then they leave. They go home on the subway, and that's it. Can you believe that? They actually printed this as a Marvel comic, superhero comic. 3 friends playing in a rock band. No. This is one of the most awful comics that I've read in my life, and I keep saying that every time that I do a video because they keep outdoing themselves. The artwork is worse than some of the Justice League TV shows that they did back in the day on Cartoon Network. I mean, this is terrible. There's basic colors, no kind of shading. I mean, it looks like, you know how Diversity in Comics is doing that comic that he's doing now, and he's having to color it himself on his computer? That looks better than this comic. This is just sad. Who thought this was a good idea? I'm going to go have to look at Spider-Gwen's numbers now to see what they are, because if they're anything above 12,000, then you know they're buying their comics themselves to help their numbers. This is just terrible. I mean, if I had bought this comic, I would rip it in half. And I don't rip comics, but this is not Spider-Gwen. And I want to give Spider-Gwen a chance because everybody says, oh, well, you know, a couple of my leftist friends, they say, oh, Spider-Gwen's good, Spider-Gwen's good. Not if this is how it's written. This is terrible. Gwenpool is better than Spider-Gwen at this point. But anyway, that's all I got to say. Spider-Gwen 23. I mean, I give it a 1 out of 10. Mainly because they were able to complete it on time and get it produced. That's why I give them the 1 star. But tell me what you think. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the notifications button so you can get all my videos. And have a great day, guys. All right, I'm out of this mess. Bye.